You are a three-dimensional creature, trapped moving strictly forward along a four-dimensional timeline. But the mathematical frameworks that describe our universe don't stop there. To map the complete physics of reality, we have to build a structure consisting of exactly 11 dimensions. We start at the absolute bottom, dimension 0. In coordinate geometry, this is the origin point. It has no width, no depth, and no height. It is completely invisible and infinitely small, a precise location in space where everything else begins. Take that point and move it in a single direction. You get a line. This is the first dimension. A universe built here consists purely of distance. You can move forward or you can move backward, and every single location can be perfectly described using just one number. Push that line sideways, perpendicular to itself, and you create a plane. Now you have width and length. This is the second dimension. This flat geometry is responsible for every diagram, screen, and piece of human visual media, including the surface of the Mona Lisa. Curious. But actually living inside a 2D universe comes with a severe limitation. Because there is no depth, flat creatures sliding around on this plane cannot see each other's full shapes. Looking at a circle or a square from within the plane means you only ever see their outer edges. Everyone just looks like identical flat lines. A two-dimensional universe is highly efficient for storing data and imagery, but it lacks the physical volume required for objects to have an inside and an outside. To support physical interaction, we have to break upward into a completely new axis. We pull the flat plane up, giving it height. Welcome to the third dimension. Volume is born. Objects can now be walked around, enclosed, and etched. This is the first geometric space capable of holding physical matter. 3 dimensions possess specific physical properties that allow complex structures to form. The inverse square law of gravity functions perfectly here, creating stable orbits. It is also the exact spatial configuration required to support the dense, complex neural wiring found in a biological brain. Look at this image of Earth. The swirling atmospheric structures and the spherical curvature of the planet are strictly dependent on this geometry. Stars burning, planets forming, and complex life emerging are exclusively locked to this specific 3-dimensional setup. Mathematically, the universe could have configured physical laws for a flat 2D plane or an expansive 4D hypervolume. Instead, it locked our tangible, interactive reality to exactly 3. Because 3 dimensions perfectly contain all the matter we can physically touch, any step higher means we have to abandon physical space altogether. We have to start mapping the geometry of time. This photograph of Albert Einstein represents the physics that proved otherwise. Relativity treats time as a literal physical coordinate unified with space. This is the 4th dimension. If a hypothetical entity could perceive all 4 dimensions at once, they wouldn't see your life as a sequence of passing moments. They would see your entire existence stretching from your birth to your death as a single, solid object. We can never actually see the present moment. Look at this image of the sun. Light takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach our retinas. We only ever see the sun exactly as it was 8 minutes ago. What we call reality is really just a bubble of past information. We are constantly moving blindly along a fixed 4-dimensional track, entirely unable to reverse or slow down our momentum. The 5th dimension contains every outcome of every choice you've made. The moment a decision occurs, the timeline violently splits, branching outward into alternate realities. The job offer you declined, the conversation you avoided, and the train you missed don't vanish. In 5-dimensional space, every single one of those alternate choices plays out to its absolute conclusion as a fully realized universe. Treating that entire structure of human history as a single coordinate allows us to map the 6th dimension. This is the complete phase space of every possible history Earth could have experienced, from the Big Bang to the present. Within this infinite grid, your existence requires an absurdly specific chain of events. Millions of ancestors had to meet at the exact right second, survive the same hazards, and make the exact same choices over millions of years. Change a single interaction in the Ice Age, and you disappear. By the 6th dimension, you are a statistical ghost. Your life is a cosmically improbable glitch existing in a near-endless multiverse of alternate timelines. We leave human history behind entirely in the 7th dimension. Here, we start manipulating the foundational rules of the universe. We can dial up the gravitational constant or change the speed of light. When we alter those constants even slightly, the strong nuclear force fails to bind protons, or stars collapse the moment they ignite. The vast majority of universes in the 7th dimension are entirely dead, proving how incredibly narrow the window for a life-permitting reality actually is. Sprinting into the 8th dimension, we strip away the laws of physics altogether. These are realities built on completely alien mathematics, universes where time flows backward, or where the foundational logic of mathematics behaves in ways we cannot comprehend. Connect all of those distinct infinities, and you crash into the 9th dimension. This is indescribable chaos. We are looking at entirely distinct modal realities that share no common origin, no shared rules of physics, and no geometric language that humans possess the words to describe. In this framework, every configuration of reality that can exist does exist, mapping a landscape where no two infinities share a single common rule. To complete the model, we reach the 10th spatial dimension, the final step in string theory. We take all 9 infinities of pure chaos, compressing them into a single point, and connect that point to absolute nothingness. This point is absolute infinity. It is the final, unified mathematical object containing all possible configurations of anything that could ever exist. It doesn't exist inside anything, because the concept of inside is generated by the point itself. String theory suggests these dimensions are not distant, unreachable multiverses. They are compactified structures curled up beneath the subatomic level of our own world. The chaos of the 11th dimension doesn't undermine our physical world. The microscopic, invisible vibration of those extra mathematical layers is the exact engine producing the particles, the forces, and the solid, three-dimensional reality you are standing in right now. Every dimension so far has been a way to connect one set of infinities to another. We have accounted for every possible timeline, every history, and every logical framework. There is no other data set left to connect to. This is the point of completion, absolute infinity. It is a single, unified mathematical object containing all possible configurations of anything that could ever exist under any logic. Our entire experience, from the first line to the edge of the multiverse, is just one perfectly placed coordinate within the map of this final dimension.